let's not go to fear. What did fear do to us? Where did fear come from? What is fear?
There's an interesting acronym. Fear being false evidence appearing real, right? So it's usually not real. More often than not, the problem is not the problem. The problem is the imaging of the problem. The problem is what you are seeing, what is being created. And that's the weapon of the enemy, right? To create an image in your mind that exaggerates the situation or that makes you relegate your personal power to the background. So you feel like the situation that you are being faced with is greater than the power that you possess within, and by so doing, shifting your attention to the exaggerated image of that thing, you have lost your power. So that's the strategy. When I see, for instance, I'm very, very practical in the way when I read scriptures, I like to play them out in real time. I like to, if I can't practice it, do you understand?
In this language.
Then it's not relevant. So when I see arrows that fly by noonday, for instance, some of us, when we read scriptures, we actually literally in our imagination, because let me tell you, the picture in your mind is the experience that you will have, right? So when you say something, the image that it creates is your understanding of that thing, which ultimately impacts on your experience. So when people think of warfare, for instance, they imagine, and that's the image they see, the angels and demons with swords and, fighting and all of that, right? So when you see, for instance, arrows that fly by noonday, some people actually imagine literal arrows, right? A lot of these things, to me, are metaphoric, right? Or figurative. Arrows that fly by noonday, to me, are thoughts. They are thoughts that are being injected in your spirit or in your soul, right? To contradict what it is that you're believing for. So you pray for something, you have a good time, and just trusted God that He's, for a particular thing He's done it. And as you come out of that space, something contrary to what it is that you believe for happens. And in that moment, an arrow is fired. A thought is injected. See, you call yourself a Christian. and this kind of thing is happening to you.
And these thoughts are alive.
Of course.
They can hold you.
Of course. The weapons of our warfare, they are not carnal. So what does that mean? It means it cannot be a physical arrow. It's not carnal. But they are mighty through God. To doing what? Pulling down what? Thoughts, strongholds, imaginations. They're things that we think. That is the realm that we need to begin to pay attention to. But most people are mindless. I'm telling you, and I know this because I interact with people and I see how mindless people are of the kingdom within. Mindless of what's going on inside, right? They will have the words, but I am telling you, the meditations of their hearts are not in alignment. Small wonder, David would say, let the words of my mouth and the meditation
of my internal government.
Do you understand? Be in alignment. Because a lot of people are out of alignment. They have the trappings of Christianese. They say all the right words. But what would really affirm that you are in faith is the status of the world within. Will there be absolute stillness and calm when there is a storm on the outside? Right? That is proof that you've been able to convert, what's going on the inside. So, to answer your question, right? So that's really what fear is. It's the battle that goes on within. It's the injection of contradictions by the enemy, right? To cause you to forget who you are. Because he knows that if you know who you are, right, he's finished. But if you lose your identity, then he has gotten you.
So is the born again experience an awakening of who you are?
Yes, that's my personal belief. An awakening to the God
Inside.
that resides on the inside. And the awakening that causes the consciousness of the godness that you possess, right? That causes you to shift your attention from the external and shifting the spotlights and the attention to the internal. Why is this critical? It's a universal law. Where your attention goes, your energy flows. It's a law, right? So wherever your attention goes, your energy is going. So if your attention is consistently on the external, your vital life force is going out of you to the external. But if you are able to shift your attention to the internal, where is your energy and all your vital life force going? Is going inside. And guess what? Where does God reside? Inside.
For the kingdom of God is inside.
Is within you. So you are activating, right, that inner power and presence of God that exists with your attention. But when we take our attention externally, we then become mindless of what we have. And what you are not aware of does not exist for you, right? So
wait, pause. Why?
Because, like I said, awareness is attention. Attention is power. So the awareness of power is power. The awareness of powerlessness is powerlessness. So if I am unaware of what I have, if I'm unaware of the battalion of angels that reside in an unseen realm that are around me, if I live unaware of them, then I'm not going to activate them. They are waiting for awareness. Awareness is the activation. It's the consciousness. It's the language of the unseen. It's the currency of that realm. It's awareness. That's what activates things. That's what causes shifts. That's what causes movement in that realm. It's what you are aware of, right? And it's so essential, but I find that most people have put their awareness outside of themselves, outside of the power that they possess.
Profound. So now, in this light, what is fear? What is faith in the most simplest terms? In the context of being aware of who you are and what you carry, what does fear do to you? What does faith do for you? Beautiful.
So the first thing to understand in order to be able to appreciate the diversity between these two concepts is consciousness.